All right, what's up, everybody? This is episode one of the Overcut podcast. A pretty informal, I would say, Formula One podcast. We're just a couple guys talking F1 every week. We'll be here, try to be here after every race and after every big major event, giving updates, giving news, giving our thoughts and probably terrible opinions on a lot of things. So first, we'd like to introduce ourselves. I'm LG, and let's. I don't know if you want me to introduce you or you would do it
I'll go.
yourself.
Yeah, I'm Joe. And yeah, pretty new fan. Not as seasoned as Lonnie is, but I think we know what we're talking about a little bit. We'll find out, I guess, especially for this season. We don't know what's going to happen, but looking forward to it.
And I am Mike, definitely very new, still learning. We'll be leaning on LG for a lot of the real technical things. We're just here to run them up.
Yep, just to be mad at people and mostly yelling at
Hey,
Red Bull.
there is nothing wrong with running amok. So we're sitting here on the eve of not the actual eve, but coming up to race one in Bahrain this weekend. Testing just ended last week, so there's that 3 days of 12 weekend testing. We got to see, it was the first time we got to see all the new cars on the track. So with that, it's a big thing. F1 liveries every year.
Yep.
So some things we may have been shocked by. Some things we're not. Red Bull, but
And Ferrari.
hey, hey, like they say, not too much on Ferrari. But yeah, so some of the liveries I thought were good. Some of them were just and some of them I thought were just bad. One in particular. But so if you guys had to rank your liveries that you saw this weekend from the first kickoff, how would you rank them? You don't have to give all 10. You can just do top three and then your bottom two.
Okay, bottom
Who are the
two. I mean,
worst?
my bottom one is easy because the papaya is just not doing it for me. I mean, I want to like it because orange is fine, but the only thing I like about the McLaren is the Google Chrome part on the wheels. And it's not even Chrome, it's the colors of Google Chrome. Everything else about it is not,
It's pretty bad.
I just can't get into it. I mean, even like that Robin Egg Blue on certain things, but not on the car. No, thank you. Easy
Yeah.
bottom for me.
I think that might be everybody's worst car. It is probably the worst.
How different is it from last year? Like it looks, I mean, at
Looks
a
the
quick
exact
look,
same.
it looks pretty similar. Like they didn't decide to do anything cool. There's a lot of black on other cars. Nothing like that on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't get the memo from other teams. I would probably
Yes.
say, yeah, they're pretty bad.
So
I
what do
don't
you
think
think was
there's.
your best, Joe? What was the best?
Let's
So,
go. Let's go.
so number one is easy. Well, number one and two are close. I will say that. But my number one is the team that dominated when they were a black car and they went to silver, back to silver, I should say, last year. And ooh,
Bad.
bad taste in my mouth still. It's like
Bad.
that these dry martinis I tried this weekend. Not yet. The Mercedes is number one for me. The black being back is sick.
Yeah, definitely is. That is my favorite. I think maybe between them, the Williams car looks really good too. The
Bonnie?
Williams car is really good.
Well, mine is good. Is not going to be the same as anybody's. So I thought the best looking car. I'm weird, but I thought the AlphaTauri was the
Alpha.
best looking car.
Yeah.
Ooh.
They were number 2, 3 for me.
Okay.
I like the white. I guess I like the white nose on it with the contrast with the blues, and yeah, I thought that was the best looking car.
The
But
white
close
and
to
blue
behind
goes
that
good.
is I thought was the Mercedes. The Mercedes was in second, and then I would say probably the Haas was maybe after the Mercedes. I really like that Haas car. I think that Haas car looks good.
Oh, there's a lot of black on that one, right? They have a lot more black
Yeah,
this year? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
I think that was number 5 for me. That was there. That was in the top
but
for
my
me.
worst is clearly the McLaren. It looks.
Tell me more about it. Tell me more about the
It
McLaren.
looks
Let's get some
terrible.
more. Come on.
But even like how you said, Joe, if like the highlight of the car is the wheels, then you know it's bad.
It doesn't even look fast. It doesn't even look fast.
Is that what it is? That papaya
It doesn't look
orange
fast.
just doesn't look fast. Okay.
It looks like a car. It looks like a car that you just like you go to the track and you pay like $10 to take a picture with it. They let you sit in it. Oh no! They let you sit in it, grab the steering wheel and all that. Yeah, it looks like it looks more like a show car than anything, I guess. I think that's my issue with it.
Well, not that I'm surprised that we all agree on McLaren, but did we like the Alpine car or did we hate the Alpine car? Because that one was close to the bottom for me too.
I got the Alpine car somewhere like in the middle.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's out of my top 5.
Because I thought it was good last year. Or like no, I think it was the year before. I think it's just that pink side pod on there that doesn't look, it kind of throws it off. But I like the blue, what they call the French racing blue.
It's okay.
But,
okay, Mr. Technical.
but yeah, I like that. I just think the Alpines are, like how you said, some of them are just blah. So I just thought that one was kind of okay.
So how did you feel about your Ferrari?
It's red. It's the right color red this time.
It's true.
It looks like a right color red this time. But I kind of like it with a little bit of black on there. I thought last year's car looked a little bit better, but
okay.
But this one isn't bad.
Mr.
Last year,
Purist
like
here.
more of a matte red. This year's a little more.
Yeah,
glossy.
last year was like a matte red. It was, yeah, but yeah, I like the contrast of some of that black on there.
So what do we think about Red Bull then? Just status quo. It is just what it is. They're going to be at the bottom. They don't care what it looks like, as long as it runs.
Yeah, we were texting before their huge reveal. You know, they got X Games athletes there and everything. We all knew what the car was going to look like. Stop with the fanfare.
Yeah.
But did you see? I saw a report somewhere that said when they had the reveal for the car, it was actually even last year's car.
I read that in the headline, but I didn't know what to believe on that.
Yeah, because I think they had this thing where they just didn't want it. They thought it may be, I don't know, I guess somebody's spying on it. They didn't want anybody to see their new car too early.
Oh my
God. So they just brought the last year's car.
It's funny because I believe that is actually what they were thinking.
Yeah. So it's like, look how dumb they think the American fans are. You just bring the old car from New York to New York City the next year and like, oh yeah, here's our new car.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, Red Bull.
I did want to bring up one other car. So you already brought up Williams. That's my 2. But I want to give some love to my 3, which is the Alfa Romeo. What do you guys think about Alfa Romeo's car?
I got that one down at the bottom.
Really?
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
I
like
mean, it
that.
does look like an Old Spice car for real, but I do like it.
No, I'm not big on that car. I got out of the 10, I got that at 9.
Whoa.
Jeez. Okay, fair enough.
I don't like that black with that deep red. It's just, I don't know. Yeah. No.
He's Mr. Ferrari. That red and black won't gonna go for any other car anyway. That's what it is.
I'm concerned across the board on Alfa Romeo. I do want them to be good because I like Valtteri for some reason, but I don't really know what to think. Even after testing, I don't think it's going to be good.
Why are we rooting for Valtteri?
I don't know. I really don't know. When I first saw him on screen, I thought he looked like a villain in a Bond movie. Maybe that's why I thought he was cool, but I'm not really sure.
I don't know.
So just to get it out the way since it's the first one, I guess you could probably tell that I'm a Ferrari fan. So I guess, can y'all share who y'all are a fan of this year? Or
Joe's
has it
big
changed?
revival. Joe's big reveal.
Go ahead, Mike.
Who's your team, Mike? Shocking.
I am Team Mercedes. I like Lewis Hamilton. Well, I guess he's probably the only person I would know that coming into the sport, and then he ended up being the biggest guy in the sport. So it made it kind of easy to root for him, but it's been a tough 2 years.
Winning the constructors title a year ago was a tough year.
Hey man, I watched my guy bounce around the car all last year, man. It was tough for him.
Dude, I saw in Drive to Survive when he came out with like hurt, have his back hurt and everything after that one
Yeah,
race.
man.
He pulled a
Okay, I
Pat
guess I gotta
Mahomes.
say what team I like. Um, I mean, people who listen to this podcast will hear that I'm definitely a Mercedes fan, but I like to think that I'm a Renault fan because that was the team that I decided to like when I started watching, which is now Alpine. So let's just say I'm an Alpine fan.
Okay.
Mm. So, that's
I'm
not
rooting
bad.
for Team Alpine this year, but I like certain drivers that are outside of Alpine, like Lewis. So
Yeah. I think we all have those few that we still root for. The guys that are in
Yeah,
midfield.
yeah.
I don't have a problem with Alpine. I think I like Alpine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm
I
rooting
like
for Aston
Alpine.
Martin this year.
Out of all the midfield runners, they're probably my favorite team.
I think I like Aston Martin as my middle ground team, but from what I understand, they were going to be challenging my team this year. So
True. I like the Lawrence Stroll vibe, not Lance. Lance, I don't like that vibe, but
You
Lawrence
like the
Stroll,
dad?
his dad's vibe. Every time you see him on screen, I like it. So I'm definitely down with Aston being
big
good.
money is what
Yeah,
he is on the
exactly. The
screen.
way that his collars don't really fit, but it's because they're so tall. I don't know what it is.
He seems like he's always like he's the guy at the like the guy at the office who always will make like the inappropriate joke and
Yeah,
then
he's
like
definitely
look
going to see
around
HR. He's going to
and
HR.
then
He
like
always
look
talks a
around
little
and
too
like
loud so everyone can hear him too.
yeah, it's like and then like what I do? Like,
Oh man.
I just get that vibe from him all the time. Like he's
Yeah,
just that
I can
guy.
see it. I can definitely see that.
So now we got liveries out the way. They got new drivers on the grid. So you got I don't want to butcher these names, but I feel like I am. So for drivers that weren't on the grid last year.
Mm-hmm.
So we got McLaren, we got Oscar Piastri. I think that's
That
how you
sounds pretty
pronounce it.
solid to me. Sounds
Piastri.
pretty solid.
I won't know until the first race. Then I'll get it right after that.
Yeah.
So Alpha Atari, you got Nick DeVries, who feels like he's been like the third driver for like every team on the grid.
Yeah, he's been
But
in for a while though, right? Like
well,
he's been a
he
backup
did
driver.
one yeah, but he raced one time last year with
Mhm.
who was that with?
With Williams.
Yeah, and he scored points.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
He
Yes.
scored points. And then you got old man Nico Hulkenberg who just who's everybody's like emergency fill-in driver if something happens on like Friday.
I don't know why I hate on Nico, but I hate on Nico. So if he is
Dude,
good somehow, then good for him. But I don't see
he's
it.
had the best job in the world. He's
It's like
just like hang around in the paddock every weekend and like somebody just needs somebody to drive on Sunday with
He
no
jumps in.
expectations. They're like, hey Nico, come drive our car this weekend.
is he the equivalent of like a long-term backup quarterback in the NFL?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's like
Money
Chase
in his
Daniel.
Yeah,
He's Chase Daniel. And then you got who we're going to be pulling for this year is Logan Sargent, Joe's guy.
USA.
Captain
USA.
America himself. Here he is.
Big time weight on his shoulders from especially not from even like from all the new American viewers that have come on recently. It's probably gonna be more pressure on him than it's been on an American driver for a while, just for that aspect.
Yeah. And he's
And
in
it
the worst
sucks.
car.
It sucks for him because you got to think of what car he's in.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough for him to score points. So he's going to have to win over our hearts.
But I mean, if you understand the sport, you already understand that aspect too. Is that he's starting from a car that's
18th
primarily
to
going to
20th.
be racing around the back end of the field. But as we saw last year, they scored some points with their car last year with right strategy calls and right calls on tires, things like that. They were capable of scoring points last year.
They
in
took
a few
some
races.
chances too. Yeah, they took some chances.
Yeah. Well,
when you're back there, you have to.
Yeah. After having watched for a couple years, I think for these teams in the back and these young guys, if you're just not wrecking the damn car every week or in practice or any of that, like that's a win with you not wrecking the car. So because we talk about Mick Schumacher and how many times he broke the car last year. Like if Logan just is competitive in their little strategies but doesn't wreck the car all the time, I think that's probably the win for him.
Yeah, I mean, well, we know how F1 is. F1 is a money game, and those teams don't have money. So if you're wrecking the car, you're costing more money. Mm-hmm. That doesn't work.
Makes you look bad. Put you in the crosshairs.
Yeah.
His goal right now should just be finishing races. That's it. You just get your experience in the car, get the laps, finish races, and then you worry about all that further down the line.
I mean, it worked for George Russell. I'm sure it can work for him too.
Yeah,
because if you got the speed, it'll come, it'll show. Even like the thing is like even if you have the speed, even in a slower car, it'll show. And like because those people out there know whose car is bad and whose car is not bad. So the right people are seeing it. It's not like because you look at George went from one of the slowest cars on the grid to racing for the defending constructors champion when he went to Mercedes.
And we saw
it wasn't like a
subbed in for Lewis where he almost won that race.
Yeah, and it wasn't like so it's like it wasn't a thing where he had to jump to like a midfield team before he went to Mercedes. Like they could tell that he was fast in the slow car. So you just gotta stick to it, I guess.
Find an opportunity. That's really what
I should have said. He's my favorite driver. I'm gonna get his jersey. I'm gonna get a Williams flag. It's gonna be last. I'm gonna take it all down, but I'm pulling for him hard.
Oh my God, you're gonna look like such a loser with a jersey.
I am thinking about getting a hat at least sometime this year, so I got to figure out what team.
Get a hat. Yeah, let's start with hat.
Yeah,
let's start with hat. So, not much changing other than like with driver swaps on the grid this year. You got pretty much Gasly to Alpine, and then you got Alonso to Aston Martin, replacing Vettel, who retired last year.
But that's a big deal, though, right?
It's a big deal. Vettel's a multi-champion, so that was a big deal, and he's still pretty. He wasn't old, and he was still racing pretty well too. So I guess when you just know. So he wanted to get out, and Alonso jumped right in. I still didn't understand that move from Alonso's point, but I guess maybe he's privy to something that we don't know. But I thought the Alpine car, things could change, but I thought the Alpine car was a lot better than that Aston Martin car last year. So
it just sucks that we're going off of those time trials from over the weekend, which are all false.
Yeah, exactly.
Cars are full of gas.
I'm not even gonna mention them.
Yeah, so none of that stuff really matters. But they were saying that the Aston Martin looked good. So
so
maybe he did know something.
Fernando was getting interviewed, and he said that they did a full race sim in the last 57 laps, I guess he did on Friday or the last day of testing, and Ferrari did the same sim, and they were apparently faster. Aston was. This is Fernando talking about it again. I just contradicted what you just said there, but I saw that and I was like, "Ooh, okay, interesting."
It just gives us something to talk about. That's all.
That's all. You don't know. They're not going to know anything until Saturday. Q2. That's when you know that's when you'll know.
Saturday morning, when Alonso gets knocked down Q2, and we're like, oh, okay, everything's normal.
Yeah, you won't know who's fast until Q2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but so you have that, and then you have Gasly going to Alpine from AlphaTauri.
Yeah, I need you guys to tell me how that's going to go, because Ocon seems to have always been kind of chippy with his teammates. What's going to happen with Gasly and Ocon?
Oh, they're going to fight on track. You're going to see it's going to be nasty, I believe. I think it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be this nice harmonic situation. I think they're going to have to tell them to stop racing each other.
I think so.
I see it coming, man, and I'm all for it. I am all for it.
Yeah.
All for teammate fights.
Yes, man. Yeah. It's so good. It makes for good
It's a full
TV.
it's a full French team now too. Both
Yeah, it
are
really is.
two
They're leaning.
French team, two French drivers. So they got what they essentially probably wanted, but
It's a lot of pride over there.
yeah, they got the driver lineup that they wanted. So we'll see how it goes. Mike is saying fighting.
I
How
like
long
it.
is it going to take before? How many races you got before they start fighting?
I mean, honestly, I think it just all depends on the situation. If they are fighting for points on the grid, I think it will get like from that bottom tier to mid tier. I think that they will go at it. So, no, four races in. So what's that?
Early on.
That's a long season to fight.
Yeah, I think it's gonna start early, man. Because all it takes is for one person to feel like the strategy isn't going their way, and then here we go. It's off and running.
Or maybe like they qualify like 7th and 8th, like they're both close and they're both already in the points, so they have to battle each other early in a race.
Ooh,
and then, they pit one guy early, and that's what you said there. Where like now does that guy think that they're shafting him on that? That could be the beginning if they're close in a race early on.
I like it. I want to start week 1. Week 1, turn 1. I want to see it.
Well, because Gasly got something to prove, because you'd think he feels that way since the whole Red Bull debacle, whenever that was.
Yeah, it's been
3 years ago now.
Yeah. So I get it.
That was a mess.
I get it. He wants to show Red Bull that he can compete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, what are you all's thoughts on the season? You excited for the season?
Go ahead, Mike.
You ready for the season?
Excited. I'm not sure yet. I need to see what kind of upgrades Mercedes brings, because what they have now is not going to do it. So I'm looking at. I'm going to be mad that Red Bull takes an early lead in these races. It makes me nervous. I'm hoping that Ferrari can put up some kind of fight, so at least it knocks down some points, so we have a chance. I want to see an actual good finish to the season. It sucks when you know who's going to win 3, 4, 5 races out. Like, you wanted to come down to the last week. Points, whoever scores the most points on that last week wins. I want to see that. But I'm expecting Red Bull to run away with it.
I mean, all the evidence kind of points to that. I think Red Bull's going to let's get this out. I think Red Bull's going to run away with it, which sucks. But whatever's happening to Ferrari, and maybe Lonnie can help me on this, they have to have decided who's the number 1 driver, which we know that means that the new guy's going to obviously give Charles that title if they do that, because they have to. The teams are going to try to go after Max. They can't have both guys winning races, because then that ruins both of their chances to beat Max and the drivers. So that's the first thing. It comes down to if Ferrari has chosen Charles, but I don't think Carlos is going to be down with that. And what's that going to mean? We're just going to be excited about Alpine, Aston, and Mercedes fighting for third all year. Like, that doesn't really do it for me either. I want to see people winning races that aren't Red Bull. So I'm concerned.
Okay. Yeah. I'm excited to see what Mercedes does coming up, because they finished the year last year kind of strong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Their car progressively got better throughout the season, and then the season just ended. Because I think if we would have had a couple more races, I think they would have really been up there challenging their Red Bull car. It took them a while, but it's going to be good to see how they bounce back with the second year of the new car.
Mm-hmm.
I envision Ferrari taking a step back this year.
I wonder why. Is it your background that says that?
Dude, I think we're probably the third best team on the grid right now.
Yeah.
I don't
maybe
see that,
third.
man. I don't see that. Y'all,
I see it.
The car has so much straight line speed. It's going to be tough for y'all to fall that far back.
It's not that far back. Like, we were still with Mercedes in the last race of the season trying to get second in the constructors.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It just seems like Mercedes had
mean-
such a bad year last year, and for them to still finish second in the constructors mean that it wasn't as bad as it looked on TV. It's just
No, it was nowhere near as bad.
But I guess that's when you're talking about who's winning races and
Mhm.
the stuff that's
when you
happening
win,
behind is what this. I mean, I guess the sport is about that in general. Like it's never just about the person who wins it all. It's about the fighting in between that really gets you excited.
Mhm.
yeah,
Well,
it's a lot of money in there.
Yeah, it's not fun to talk about, but the reliability of the engine, like it sounds like Ferrari's got a plan to not have the engine blow up a bunch like it did last year. So, Lonnie, I mean, if that turns into you guys, not getting as many poles and not winning those couple races, but you finish, I mean, that could end up being an easy second place compared to last year where it got dicey at the end. So maybe it's something like that.
They had a few,
Yeah, but if Red
2
Bull
races
finishes,
that y'all didn't finish.
What's that?
Both cars missed. Was it 2 last year that y'all had 2 DNFs?
I don't know, it was a couple, and we lost a couple of those races from the lead.
Yeah, Charles twice
yeah.
was in the lead, I think, right when he had to stop.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I think y'all will be all right. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna root for y'all because I don't see us competing for first.
Yeah,
we'll see. I'm a jaded Ferrari fan. I haven't seen him win a title in like going on like maybe like 20 years now, something like that. No, I think it's 2007.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, the
maybe
people
like
will learn.
2007 or something like that.
Everyone, Lonnie loves Ferrari, but he also loves laughing when they screw up. That is what we're used to.
I see it so much.
Yeah.
Like I've just seen it so much. I've seen him do so many dumb things over the last decade, really. And it's just like I'm not shocked by anything.
Right.
I'm not shocked by anything anymore.
So I guess we're all in agreement that we think Red Bull is going to win.
Oh yeah, I think they're going to run away with it. Honestly.
So who
I think
finished
Max
10th?
will.
Who finished 10th?
Who went? Sorry, 10th.
Who finished 10th? Who's last? There's only 2 teams that we think that could possibly be at the end. I'm gonna go ahead and say I think Haas finishes last this year.
Gunther. I'm thinking Williams.
I'll say between them or Williams. There's only 2 teams.
Last. Dang. I don't know if I go Williams because I think their driver lineup is better this year.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
And I actually like what Haas has been doing, but I don't think they have enough to move up.
Maybe a shocker here, but maybe AlphaTauri.
Whoa.
I guess they were pretty trash last year. That's fair.
Hey, I like the hot take. I like it.
I got another hot take though. Y'all got ready for this?
Let's go.
Yes.
I'm gonna ask y'all, do y'all have any hot takes after this? So my hot take is not really a hot take, but something that I just envision, happening that hasn't happened yet in a race that we've seen. I've got Perez, I got Checo, and Max wrecking each other at some point this year. Double DNFs.
Hey, I'm all for it. I think Perez wants all this back in blood.
I got them hitting each other at some point this year. Both cars retiring.
I would be so happy if we saw that.
I need to see if there's some kind of bet somewhere for this because I like it. I like it. Perez, Perez really does not like this whole being second to Max. He does not like it at all.
I need to learn more about it. The whole thing from last year, about Max supposed to let Checo through and he didn't. Like, I need Checo to not give a F anymore about it. But if he wants to keep his job, he will. But
So what the whole backstory of that is so weak because what it comes back to is when Max got on the radio and said, "I already told you guys what I'm doing and why I'm doing it." So they said Max was still mad that he thought Checo wrecked on purpose at Monaco during qualifying when he was on a hot lap and he couldn't get the pole and he couldn't get pole. And that's what Max was like, no, fuck that. I'm not letting him by. That's why he was that's what he was mad about.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, come on, man. You've won the championship. The championship's locked up. The Constructors' Championship's locked up.
And you being petty.
Over 2 points? It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
that was
really the
apparently
reason.
that was the backstory,
Ugh.
which is weak, which makes it even worse.
Yeah. All right, Mike. Hot take. What you got?
Oh man. I mean, honestly, I think I want to see somebody who hasn't won races in a while win. Like I want to see an Aston Martin to the front. So I'm gonna go and say I'm gonna say that Lance, well, not Lance, because he's gonna be out for a while. So I'm gonna go with Fernando winning a race this year. I think he can do it.
I would be down.
I think they have the car to do it, and all it takes is for that, I don't know, Max and Sergio to go ahead and wreck. That gives him an opportunity to make this happen.
It's one of those races that Bottas bowls everybody off the track at the beginning.
Yeah, I think we're going to see something like that. I think that we're going to get one of these teams from the midfield to actually win a race this year. We won't see Red Bull every week, 1-3, 1-2 all year.
Yeah, that's what it was last year. It was the two drivers on the two top teams winning races, and then George, right? There wasn't anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it.
That was it.
We need. I mean, when I say parity, we still think Max is going to win everything, so it's not parity. But we need a couple weird things to happen in a couple races.
You need you need Ocon at Hungary the year before last.
To start a race by himself, and then
That's still one of the wildest situations I've ever seen on a.
It's the best. It's one of the best pictures ever. One of the best still shots ever.
Until you find out he loses.
The sunshine is behind him, and you can clearly see he has rain tires on, and he's by himself. What's happening?
Oh my gosh! So Joe, who you got surprise winning a race this year?
No, surprise winning a race. Let's see. Mike stole my Aston Martin take. I have a hotter take, but it's kind of dumb. So let's go with.
We want both.
Okay, here's my dumb hot take. Alpine finishes higher than Mercedes does end of season in the constructors.
Whoa.
Big Alpine guy. What up?
Wow.
But that would mean, I guess, that one of those guys has to win a race. So let's say Gasly wins in an Alpine this year.
Okay. But I could see either one of those guys winning a race, though. I could see that happening.
Yeah, because they don't crash a lot. Yeah, at least you wouldn't think from past years. So
yeah, as long as they have a reliable car, they can be in it. We already know that Mercedes strategy can be shaky. Our pit stops can be shaky also. So
you get that late race safety car, and then they stay out. It's no good.
God, we're so bad at that. Okay.
Well, I think I'm pumped about the season. We are gonna do like race recaps. What do you think? Like next couple of days after a race, we'll do like a reaction podcast, essentially throughout the season. Is that the plan?
Yeah. Talk about the race. Talk about what happened.
Cool.
And hopefully
recap the weekend.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of early races this year. So
dude, there's a lot of races in general.
So that's such a DVR, boys. I see a lot of 1 a.m.s.
Oh, you mean early in the time? Yeah. That's true.
I mean, you got to. You see how big the schedule is. It's like just keep adding races every year. So,
hey, I like it. It makes the season longer.
Yeah, maybe a live pod from Vegas in November. You guys.
Dude, I'm not supporting that race, man.
Give it year 3. I'll think about going. Maybe the ticket prices will go down enough for that.
Yeah, I checked. I wouldn't be attending that one. I'll have a better chance going to Mexico.
Okay, we can talk about that.
I got a better chance going to Mexico.
Yeah.
Probably have a better time too.
Yeah.
Probably have a better time too. Vegas is going to be insane that weekend because it's because where it is like on the main road. It's like how you go to the
strip? Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, the traffic is going to be atrocious.
Well, just something new and big in Vegas with that kind of money. I mean, that's going to be a big deal in Vegas. So, yeah, I'll pass on that for a little while.
Yep. Yeah, just like the Miami race, I'm gonna pass. I want to go, but I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna have to pass on that for a while too.
Yeah, maybe we can do Canada. Maybe we can do something different.
You said Singapore.
Canada.
Singapore. Hey. I'm down.
Yeah, Canada might still not be letting us in. Are they letting us in yet?
I don't know.
If they knew what was best for them, they wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly.
They wouldn't.
When they was doing, I was like, I don't blame them. Like I wouldn't let us in either.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for anyone still listening, Bahrain Sunday morning. We're all going to be watching together. So looking forward to podcast number 2.
Let's go.
Yep. Looking forward to the journey, guys.
Yeah.